Yo, what's up guys? This is James bringing you another deck profile here for the Menars Club, youtube.com. I'm going to be bringing you my Son Goku Set 6 Vanilla Ku deck list for the Gogeta Xeno build of the deck. This is a mono black build using the newly reprinted SS3 Gogeta Thwarting the Dark Empire. This has been a lot of fun. This is not an original creation by any means, definitely not claiming that. This deck's been around for about a year now or so, I think. People have kind of been onto it, but I think it's a lot of fun, and it's newly quite accessible with the reprint of Gogeta Thwarting, and it's now a really, really cheap competitive option that you can play and have a lot of fun with, so I thought I'd bring you my profile. This leader's a little old. He's from set 6, so it makes me feel old saying that, but yeah, he's from set 6. He was meta back then, and he's still pretty solid today. He has one of the first leaders with an alternate awakening condition. If there's a skillless battle card in your drop area, you can awaken when you're at 6 life, which is pretty cool. He has an activate main once per turn. You can reveal a 4-star ball from your hand. If you do draw a card, and he gets plus 5k for the turn. So that means he doesn't have to swing to get card advantage, which is incredibly good. And then if you're at 4 or less, you untap 1, draw 1, awaken. Then he has on the back an activate main. You reveal a 4-star ball from your hand. This time you draw 2 and discard 1. You don't get the pump though. However, on this turn you awaken, you get to keep the pump, and you can activate both activate mains. Very, very strong. This also fuels Overwhelm. Very good. He also has an auto once per turn. If you combo with a skillless card, you can give that card plus 5k combo power for the turn. So that means you can once per turn essentially turn one of your vanillas that you have on hand into a pseudo super combo. Very, very strong, especially with power bursts and the kind of hand advantage you're going to be getting with this deck. Yeah, let's get into the engine of the deck. We've got 4 Son Goku The Adventure Begins. This guy can once per turn tutor for a 4-star ball from your deck or drop area, put it into your hand. So this is one of the mulligan conditions of the deck, because he's essentially a 1 energy for a 4-star ball, and he gives you recurring value every turn your opponent doesn't deal with him, and puts a lot of pressure on the opponents to get rid of this little guy, because he can really start to run away with the game. He has another ability to play a vanilla from your deck, but we don't really use that in this deck. It's just kind of not a relevant use of your energy in 2022. We've got 5 4-star balls. This does have the Dragon Ball keyword, so we can play up to 7 if we want. I only really have room for 5. I think 5's a good number for the deck count. We currently have 53, plus I have the sideboard next to me, because this is a pre-sided list, so if you want to get the sideboard down low, that later in the video. But for now, this is just it's part of the mulligan condition for the deck. You have to hard mull for this, or you can't draw cards. This is also a super combo. If it's used, it's just plus 10k. There's no card draw. If it's used as a combo, or if you use the activate battle, it's not really a combo, on a skillless battle card. So you can turn your 10ks into 20s for 1 card. Very strong. Or you can just use it as a 5k boost to anything. Standard Kidku stuff. That's what we've been playing for years now, and continue to play. Super combos. It's Vegeta, the Prince Strikes Back. Really good, plus it's a fusion target with Son Goku True Fighting Spirit if you need to do that, because they're both 5k power. This card's still broken, even with the unique added to him with the new errata. That's why you're only playing 3 though, is because he can clunk a little bit. I wouldn't mind finding room for a 4th one, but it's just space is really, really tight in this deck right now. Alright, the skillless engine. We've got 4 Son Goku Vegeta and Vegeta Junior Saiyan Scions. They can downtick essentially to play 2 skillless from your deck, and they can uptick to pump themselves and all the skillless cards you have in play. You're mostly going to be using them to play, swing, and then downtick and get 2 skillless guys into play, which you can then use to set up your combos later on. But later in the game, if you have a couple of skillless guys in play already, you can start upticking them, turning them into 15ks once your opponent's leader is awakened, to keep getting damage in that way, and that can help you play under things like Violent Rays too. And then we've got the vanillas. Just 3 of each, not enough room for the 4th one, and this essentially counts as 2 of them, so it's fine with just the 3 of each, especially with the next guy we've got coming up, which is Son Goku and Android 8 Bonds of Battle. This card is absolutely insane. It does cost 2 energy, and it doesn't have deflect, so it can be a bit of a liability in some matchups like against blue, for example, but for the most part, it's incredibly good. He has a permanent that lets him and your skillless battle cards be comboed while they're in rest mode. incredible for putting pressure on the opponent. It doesn't read that strong, but once you see it in action, it's just one of the most busted things possible. And then on play, you get to take up to 1 life and then play up to 2 skillless cards from your deck or drop area. So that also sets up your fusion and self-awakens you, because you do have to get down to 6 the hard way. You don't have any other way to cheat on life other than this and your Son Goku True Fighting Spirit. Just incredible card for the deck. I would not play less than 4. It's just so good. The big guys. 3 Thwarting. This card's stupid, and it's really cheap now. You should pick them up if you don't have them yet, because they go in everything. Then we've got 4 Prepping for Fusion Goku and 4 Prepping for Fusion Vegeta. These both have Xeno Evolve, which is one of the most broken mechanics in the game, because you get to play them for 1 energy in active mode, just by warping one of your vanillas you have in play. Very stupid. Goku's a blocker, and when he's played or you activate his blocker ability, you can play a black skillless card with energy cost 1 from your drop area or warp in rest mode, which honestly doesn't matter, because if you have this guy in play, then you can still combo with it, and if you're on your awakened side, you can combo with it and give that card plus 5k combo power. Very strong. Vegeta, when he attacks, you get to tutor a skillless battle card from your deck, so you can sometimes tuck a vanilla back into your deck with your super combo and pick it back up with him. These guys don't come up a super high amount of the time. They're just extra fusion fodder to get into Gogeta, and they can be nice big chonkers to help close the game with. I feel like oftentimes when I'm siding, I'll kind of trim on these. We need some overwhelm cards, because we don't just get our cards set up in our warp automatically. We have to get them to our drop area and then warp them manually in order to set up the Gogeta Fusion. So you can either do that with a Gogeta Fusion, but ideally you'll do it off of something like Trunks Time Regulator. He's an Overwhelm 3, comes into play, draws 2, and warps 1 from your hand. So that can set up your fusion in 2 different ways. If you draw into a fusion material, you can warp it. And if you already have them both set up in your graveyard because you got them into play off of a Saiyan Scions or an Android 8, then you're just off to the races. Bob's your uncle. And then we have to back up our overall to make sure we have a good amount in the deck. We've got 2 Secret Identity Masked Saiyan, just an incredible card for every deck to have, really. And the fact that we fill our drop area up so quickly just makes it even better in this deck. Rounding out the rest of the deck list here, we've got 2 Hidden Power E Supreme Kai, just to close out games. Our guys are huge, so putting this on a 30k is really good. And then 4 Power Burst. This card's awesome in this deck because you can get back the 1-drop Goku that gets balls, and you can get back the Vanillas, which can turn into 10k combo power. So it's just an incredibly awesome defensive tool to have in the deck. You can also get back Son Goku True Fighting Spirit, which is really annoying too, because your opponent wants to keep that guy dead. And then our secret rare is Pan. What do you want me to say? It's Pan. You can play whatever you want. Pan's just probably the best secret rare, generic secret rare in the game right now. You can play Kai. Kai's also, there's nothing wrong with Kai in Heroine's Lineage if you're on a budget. Because like I said, this is a really affordable deck outside of this card too. So yeah, you could just kind of do whatever you want with that. Side deck, like I said, I've played this for pre-boarded because I've only built it since pre-boarded was announced, and we've just been playing pre-boarded at locals, which has been awesome. But I'll give you the down low on my sideboard right now. So we've got 4 Vegeta True Fighting Spirit. You want this for blue. You want this for blue, and you want this for Golden Frieza. It hates on both of them. It's just awesome. Yeah, it's just great for that. 4 Super Kamehameha. You want this for yellow and for red, and for any deck that has a body floodgate, essentially, that you can hit with it. It hits Oceanus negate too. Just really good. It can also stop Pan. 2 Koitsukai. This guy is just awesome in the format. You want this for King Piccolo. You want this for yellow. You want this for a lot of decks. A lot of decks to want to play want it to be our turn, right? Our turn. So this guy's really good. It's even better in this leader because on the backside you can draw 2 and discard 1 before going to combat, so you don't even have to try to get an attack in. Really, really useful. 2 Haru Haru just to really stick it to those green players. They're already playing one of the worst colors in the format. You get to really stick it to them. But it also works against yellow, so that's really nice too. Just stick it to all of the yellow guys in the room. We don't want to see that nonsense here. 2 Max Power Kamehameha. This is really good for Sin Shenron. It's really good for a lot of rogue strategies like Go Tanks. Just anything that wants to put out chonkers. Really good for Gogeta Xeno too. And it's just nice to have an extra negate in the aggro mirrors, which is also what Petrification's for. Anything going wide, anything abusing Frieza 100% overdrive, you want to have this card for. And that's the deck profile, guys. The side deck's really straightforward. I feel like the cards, they generally are just kind of obvious for what you want them for. This stops floodgates. This is good against yellow and green. This is good against everything that plays on your turn. This is good against blue and Frieza, this is good against big deck, and this is good against wide deck. So yeah, thanks for checking out the video, guys. If you have any questions on specific like sideboarding options and configurations and stuff like that, hit me up in the comment section below. I love answering those types of questions if you have them. It's just hard to go over every single permutation that the side deck could go through in one video, so just let me know. And yeah, thanks for checking out the video, guys. Make sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next one.